I'd like to call this meeting to order. Now is the time for the open forum. This is the time for any resident of Jefferson to speak to the council on any item that is not on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move over to the consent items.
Move to approve.
Second.
Ehrenholz?
Aye.
Jackson?
Aye.
Sloan?
Aye.
Weetrick?
Aye.
Samalik?
Aye.
Under new business, item A is a resolution obligating funds from the clinic sub-fund of the City of Jefferson Urban Renewal Tax Revenue Fund for appropriation to payment of annual appropriation tax increment obligations scheduled to be paid in the next succeeding fiscal year.
So as the council has done every year where there is a TIF agreement with particular property owners where there's going to be some sort of rebate, the council is obligated to then set the ceiling on what those TIF funds can then be paid back. Any amounts that are coming in would determine the actual amount going out the door. It can't be more than what the ceiling is, so this is just what the council is setting as the ceiling. So tonight you have 4 of those for the 4 TIF agreements that are still in place for which this action is required. We can take them in succeeding order. The clinic subfund is the veterinary clinic that's out on the north side of town. Tri-County would be Briarwood Housing Development. Mark Bauer subfund is the Mark Bauer Development Corp. That's out at Lincoln Ridge. And then the Jefferson Hotel Group, that is the hotel out by the casino. So I guess the first item up for you folks is item A for the clinic subfund that can't go above $15,500. And this has been working in conjunction with Henry and Sarah. And then also Pam Ulrich has been a great help over at the auditor's office, giving us the numbers that we need to set the top line here. So that's what you got first.
Move to approve. Second.
Samalik?
Aye.
Weetrick?
Aye.
Sloan?
Aye.
Jackson?
Aye.
Ehrenholz?
Aye.
Item B is a resolution obligating funds from the Tri-County Cash Lumber Mart subfund of the City of Jefferson Urban Renewal Tax Revenue Fund for appropriations to the payment of annual appropriation tax increment obligations scheduled to be paid the next succeeding fiscal year.
This is the Briarwood portion of this action. There's only one house that's currently in this particular TIF development, and I believe it does fall off after next year. So this one's set at $7,000.
Move to approve. Second.
Weetrick?
Aye.
Sloan?
Aye.
Jackson?
Aye.
Ehrenholz?
Aye.
Samalik?
Aye.
Item C is a resolution obligating funds from the Mark Bauer subfund of the City of Jefferson Urban Renewal Tax Revenue Fund for appropriation to the payment of the annual appropriation tax increment obligation scheduled to be paid in the next succeeding fiscal year.
Very similar to Briarwood, Lincoln Ridge, though, does have several of the houses that are in this particular tax TIF development. Ceiling on this would be $27,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
Ehrenholz?
Aye.
Jackson?
Aye.
Sloan?
Aye.
Weetrick?
Aye.
Samalik?
Aye.
Item D is a resolution obligating funds from the City of Jefferson Hotel Group subfund of the City of Jefferson Urban Renewal Tax Revenue Refund for the appropriations, the payment of the annual appropriation tax increment obligations scheduled to be paid the next succeeding fiscal year.
And this will be your final action tonight for these TIF rebates. This is on the cobblestone set at $101,200 for your ceiling.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jackson?
Aye.
Sloan?
Aye.
Weetrick?
Aye.
Ehrenholz?
Aye.
Samalik?
Aye.
Item E is a resolution approving Greene County Development Corporation application for a plat of survey.
So this is a plat of survey, comes from GCDC, but what's happening is that the Sanctuary Church is purchasing .76 acres of land from GCDC. So this is east of then the new church building, which is at 1603 North Elm Street. So they're basically squaring off some of their property in the back, and there'll be some additional property for the church. So the plat is in order, and it's recommended for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Aaron Holtz,
Aye.
Jackson,
Aye.
Samalik,
Aye.
Weetrick,
Aye.
Sloan.
Aye.
F is to hire Lindsay Malcolm as the Assistant Rec Director.
Yes, so we were looking for an assistant park and rec director, as the former is now working here at City Hall. So got that application process out there, and we ended up interviewing 4 candidates. Decided on Lindsay here. Lindsay is, she lives in Jefferson. She's been a big part of the community. She's helped with the Bell Tower Festival, coached at the high school for volleyball. She's taught a few classes at the rec center before. So yeah, she can tell you a little bit more about herself.
I've lived in Jefferson since 2018. I've been involved in Bell Tower Festival since 2020. Worked for Philip Heisterkamp at his office for 3 years. I know a lot of you, most of you recognize me at least a little bit, but yeah, very excited about the opportunity.
We need a vote.
Yep. we need to vote.
I move to approve hiring Lindsay.
Second.
Aaron Holtz,
Aye.
did I say yeah? Aaron Holtz,
Aye.
Samalik,
Aye.
Weetrick,
Aye.
Sloan,
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Welcome, Lindsay.
Welcome.
Item G is to hire Luke Shipley as a sanitation/streets worker.
It is proposed to hire Luke Shipley as a sanitation/street worker. Luke's actually been on the job for a little bit, doing actually a really, really nice job for us. Rate of pay is $25.50 per hour, and he's recommended for hire.
Second.
Sloan,
Aye.
Jackson,
Aye.
Aaron Holtz,
Aye.
Weetrick,
Aye.
Samalik.
Aye.
Item H, proposed sidewalk to the high school.
Yeah, a couple things here we'll ask the council for. There's 2 items for consideration on the agenda tonight. One would be to apply for a grant, and the other one would be to approve an engineering agreement. So the idea here would be to extend a shared use path from Central Avenue north to the high school area, but also has a leg that goes off to the east to the animal shelter and dog park area. Okay, so we'd look at this as a shared project then between the city and the school, with a large portion of this being funded by a grant. So there's a regional transportation grant that we would apply for. Applications would go in January. So just as we look at this project, it is really through the eyes of being able to get that grant. And the school's on board with this notion of proceeding with it if we get that grant. And if we would not get that grant, we don't see this project proceeding forward. So for the costs in addition to what the grant would fund, this grant funds 80% of construction costs up to $250,000. So figuring on $250,000 grant, and what that leaves is just roughly $150,000 or so. And that would then be shared between the city and the school. So it'll be proposed then that basically the city's share of that project is this engineering part. Okay? As we work into getting this grant, these are federal dollars, and they have a little bit of additional administration and engineering expense that go along with it. But there's the proposal from Bolton and Mink in there. So again, in rough terms, if there's additional costs, it's split about half and half between the city and the school. And again, so there's been some questions raised about this, and the city's involvement. I think really just having the city be a good partner in a project out there that does serve the city also. Not only general recreation use of the city, but it specifically has access out to the animal shelter and dog park areas, provides that connectivity. So I'd ask for 2 actions from the council tonight. One would be a motion to approve that grant application, and then after that, maybe we can have Jim talk through the engineering a little bit.
I'd move to approve the grant application.
So I did receive some text from a citizen that I guess his contention and concern was that this is mostly on school property and that this should be a school responsibility. The main thing that would benefit the city is that people would have more reasonable access to the dog park. Is that the idea?
That is the idea. It's also general recreation, that the path, of course, is open for walking for the general public, but the one specific area of specific benefit to the city is accessing out there to the animal shelter and dog park area. But the fact of the matter is that this project has been out there and talked about for a long time and nothing's happened on it. And here we have an opportunity with a little bit of city involvement to work towards this grant. And again, the whole thing's contingent upon receiving some grant funding. But there is this opportunity, and the city can be just a good partner in that.
And the overall cost to the city wouldn't exceed potentially $150,000. Is that the idea?
The idea would be to fund about half of that. You know, I wouldn't commit to what a maximum would be. It depends on construction cost. But it's anticipated we would take care of engineering fees, the school would take care of the remainder. Now again, that's somewhat up in the air, not knowing what the actual construction cost would be. But you know, that is the idea, and the commitment that we'd ask for tonight would deal with engineering fees.
Need a second?
Did we get it first?
Yeah, Harry.
Harry, did hear him.
Second.
Okay. Jackson,
Aye.
Aaronholtz,
Aye.
Weetrick,
Aye.
Sloan,
Aye.
Somali.
Aye.
And talk through that engineering proposal a little bit, Jim?
Yeah, so as far as the engineering agreement goes, it would be for all the services included through the grant portion. There might be a little bit of involvement with cost estimates or drawings for layout and stuff that they might need for submittal of the grant application. Other than that, it would be for the actual project, going through the topographic survey, the design documents, bidding, and construction phase services. Basically, with Scott saying that it was dependent on the grant, if that doesn't come through, then none of those other items would occur. This is only if the grant does come through, and then we move into an actual design phase on it. So we would do full topo and design of the shared use path, taking off from where we left off on Central Avenue, going up north alongside the west side of the cemetery, and then back around to the school, and then east to the access the animal shelter. Would provide construction documents and opinion of probable cost at the time, and then move into bidding and construction. Timing is dependent on the grant and when that comes back with their determination. So I think that's looking at roughly right now total fees of $71,500. That is up a little bit from our original estimate that we had provided, which is basically the additional effort for the funding grant portion of that, and being a having some additional requirements due to the grant, so. Any questions?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jim, did you say the study is necessary for the grant application?
No. The engineering agreement is for the design and bidding and construction of the project. There is some elements in there that are for the grant administration if they do get the grant, but the agreement is not necessary for the grant application.
Why is the engineering study going to happen if we don't get the grant?
My answer is it won't. What we're doing before the grant is the design and cost estimating. So it is, you want the pretty pictures to go along with the grant application and the estimate of cost.
Yeah,
And that's the work that would be done up front.
That was my
If
question.
we happen not to get the grant, there'd be no additional work after that.
So you have to have the study in order, as part of the application.
For the preliminary layout, that's true.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a study, it's just some graphics and opinion of probable cost for the grant application is all we're estimating or assuming we'll need for the grant application.
So if I can follow up then, how much money are we going to spend before we know if we have the grant? Is that the 71.5 or will it be less than that?
It would be less than that. The 71.5 is all the way through construction.
So how much are we committing for sure then, just to get the grant application out there?
There is no set amount because we don't know exactly all the things we'll need. But
An estimate?
I would say conservatively less than 10,000 probably for the.
Okay, thank you.
Need a motion for the appraisal. I move to approve.
Second.
Aaron Holtz.
Aye.
Jackson. Sloan.
Aye.
Dietrich.
Aye.
Somali.
All right.
Item I is Drainage District 57 Engineering Study.
We had some discussion with the Water Sewer Streets Committee. And this deals with drainage district number 57, and this is the area, the drainage area then on the east side of town. So as we discussed through the needs of that drainage area, it's just really, if you follow a good process on this, the first step of the process would be to analyze what the problem is and to really do a thorough study of that. So this is what the proposal is for a preliminary engineering report on drainage district number 57, and I'd let Jim explain that then too.
Yes, so with the drainage district, when a significant portion of the area is within city limits, a lot of times the counties will give the trusteeship to the cities, which is the case on this one. And so we're being asked to provide a preliminary engineering report on this drainage district to determine what the potential problems are, what we're seeing for issues. This would include some project management and some limited topographic survey. Most of this is done via desktop with maps, existing drainage district maps and profiles, but we do use LiDAR, and so we do like to go out and get some actual field locations on some critical points, just so that we can verify everything is lining up. And then the preliminary report would provide analysis and history of the district and a better understanding of what is in the district and what is responsible for, and then some problem spots from a capacity standpoint, and then develop some conceptual plans for 3 to 4 high-priority areas, which would be areas where we determine there's issues or significant issues, and then those developable, the conceptual plans would be able to direct the city to decide, you know, where to prioritize and where to focus further investigation and either repairs or improvements. So we do have in here some additional tasks for annexation and reclassification, but those are not part of this consideration tonight. Those are just some other options or some other tasks that can be done on a drainage district project. But for this one, it is just the preliminary engineering report and some survey for a total not to exceed fee of $25,000.
So as far as the study goes, you know, I think there's been a lot of positive comments made about making the study, and maybe the biggest question that's come out of this is how we would look at financing. And, you know, so the area is in a drainage district, there's opportunity to use drainage district assessments. You know, we do not need to make that decision right now about how we would proceed with any of these things. In the short term, we would anticipate this to be funded out of the sewer account, okay? And then as we work into any potential projects, you know, it could potentially be reimbursed through assessments, or make that decision to have it financed as a city project, but that decision could come later on. So, what's presented to the Water Sewer Streets Committee with a recommendation to proceed.
Move to approve.
Second.
Somali.
Aye.
Weetrich.
Aye.
Sloan.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Aaron Holtz.
Aye.
Item J is consideration of purchase of a generator for wells number 7 and number 8.
Yeah, another issue that was brought before the Water Sewer Streets Committee was a generator on wells 7 and 8, and these are the 2 rural wells on the highway out by the concrete plant. Okay, so there's a generator out there, has been for years, but it's a 1979 model generator, and it is to the point where it needs significant repair. And instead of having significant repair on that, the proposal was to replace that with another used generator. So there's a used generator that would be purchased from the city of Osceola, and it's a 2002 or something in the 2000s. So about another 20, 25 years. Cost on this is all in $21,000, including transportation and installation. Matter of fact, the generator's here and can be ready to be installed here shortly. I just offer my thanks really to Dave Moreland about being efficient with the dollars as far as looking at this as far as a used opportunity. And we certainly couldn't find anything that would be less expensive or more cost effective than what's proposed. So it is recommended for approval.
Scott?
Yep.
So our current generator is about 45 years old plus, and the new one will be 25 years plus. Did our 45-year-old generator way outlive its time? I mean, how long do these things last?
I don't know that I know the answer. You know, I would speculate it outlived its time.
Hours and it does years. And this particular generator, as I recall, and Chad, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a low-hour generator. It had right around 600 hours on it, which is low hours. So I would say there's much life left in this unit, even though the age of it is actually 20 years old.
Was a brand new one of these, of this particular size?
It's interesting that for budgetary purposes, Dave had obtained another estimate. It was a little over $100,000.
About 130.
But we got another estimate that arrived late after the meeting from Caterpillar. It was 53 for the unit plus additional costs for installation.
I move to approve. Second.
Sloan.
Aye.
Aaronholz?
Aye.
Weetrick?
Aye.
Somali? Jackson?
Aye.
Item K is a Jefferson's Matters update.
Well, good evening. I'm the president of Jefferson Matters. My name is Amy Milligan. I've talked with you many times before. And so we're here just to give you kind of a biannual update of what we've been doing this year. And 2025 has been a very exciting year for Jefferson Matters. Winning the Great American Main Street Award gave national validation to all of the hard work of our volunteers, our board members, our staff, and our partners, and what we put into Jefferson. It showed the nation that each small step we take to achieve our big goals matters, and that was very important to us. In fact, we keep track of our volunteer hours. Since 2012, when the program began, we have conservatively logged just over 65,000 hours. The state of Iowa utilizes a report from the independent sector called the Value of Volunteers Time Report, and it quantifies the value of a volunteer hour. The average over the 13 years has been about $25 an hour. So if you take $25 times the 65,000 hours, that means that our volunteers have donated about $1.5 million to Jefferson. That is a pretty impressive number. One that we're very proud of, and that doesn't even count all of the hours that the city and the county employees and any paid staff puts into it. So this year, GAMSA, the acronym for the Great American Main Street Award, and our great storytelling is putting Jefferson on the map. We've been on all the major area television networks. We've been in newspapers across our local newspapers across Iowa. We're going to be on TV in Nebraska. We've been on radio stations for our award-winning award and for multiple highlighting stories of just Jefferson and the example that we are to other Iowa communities. You're going to get a chance tonight to hear from a few of our team members up here. They're going to tell you a few of the projects that they've done and what they've got in store for the year to come. So with that, I'll introduce Kristen Russell.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to report on the Tower View team. So the updates that I have are from Deb McGinn. She's the chairperson of our team. She's a very busy lady. She keeps the downtown very beautiful for us. So we've had a very successful ekphrasis just a couple weekends ago with 10 local poets and 10 local residents. Our guest speaker was poet Kelsey Bigelow, and we had 92 people in attendance this year. It's nice to see the event growing in popularity, and we thank the Courtyard for letting us host there. 3 new murals have been created downtown that a lot of you probably have seen. 2 are on the Greene County Museum by local artist Chad Elliott. Celebrates a gas station attendant in a time gone by that we are calling Fill Her Up. And the other we're referring to as Road Trip on the other side of the museum. Celebrating a family and their dog setting out on a road trip on the iconic Lincoln Highway. The other mural is on the back of Fields of Karma and was created by artist Marissa Hernandez. Represents a Latino family so everyone can see themselves in our downtown. We used our grant money from Greene County Gaming to create these new works of art. We will be choosing the sculptures for the 11th Ring Out for Art 2026 event by December 15th, with installation again the first week of May. We've been receiving many applications again this year to choose from. Hildy De Bruyne's sculpture was the Public Choice Award winner for this last year. Shifting Gears was the name of that one, and it'll remain on the plaza until next May. Our longtime sponsor for that event is Home State Bank, so thank you to Home State Bank. We thank them for their continued faith in the Tower View team to bring great sculptures to downtown. We received a $23,000 Creative Community Accelerator grant from the IEDA through the Iowa Arts Council and are working on this for the next couple of years, which will end up bringing new public art to downtown. The work will be completed by 2027. At this time, we don't know what the new art will be. We're just throwing some ideas around. Only 5 other communities across Iowa were awarded this grant, so we're very proud of that. Looking forward into 2026, we have Porch Fest all lined up again for July 12th, which will bring 4 music artists and 4 different onto 4 different porches, and then a wrap-up band in the Thomas Jefferson Gardens. And we'll be bringing a new 3D rooftop art installation, which should be interesting for residents and visitors to experience. Our mission is to bring new public art into surprising places, and we have accomplished that mission by continuing to add a lot of color and vibrancy to our downtown. Thank you for your support of the Jefferson Matters Tower View team and your continuing support of the arts. So that was from Deb. So design team, handing it over to Sandy.
Hello, I'm Sandy Drury, and I'm a member of the design team. I am going to give the report from Mike Palmer, who is the chairperson of the design team. I hope you noticed today that the downtown planters were switched from the fall foliage to the winter greenery, and I hope you also noticed that those volunteers were working in the rain and the nasty weather. They're very dedicated. So thank you to all the Adopt a Planter volunteers. Many of the people who do the planters are members of the design team also, but there are several community people who are volunteering in this area. Plans are in place to purchase artificial greens for next year, hoping that they'll last at least 3 years to save some funds. The design team is entering a tree for the Winter Festival, and great idea, we're going to celebrate the Great American Main Street Award with our festival tree. Our team has continued to help a few downtown businesses keep their storefront window displays fresh and welcoming. One of the ones that I'm involved with is the Mason's window, which I'm sure you'll notice changes from time to time seasonally, and we have a lot of fun actually putting that window together. And we've helped several other businesses or empty storefronts. Through the design team grant program, we have awarded facade grants to the Sierra Community Theater and the Elliott Art Studio, and we've awarded signage grants to Greene County Pharmacy and Prime Performance Chiropractic and Therapies. Shelby?
I'm Shelby on behalf of the Events Committee for Jefferson Matters. For the 2025 events update, we had Bragg this year held on Memorial Day weekend with over 100 riders participating in the 37-mile route through the northeast portion of the county. Thank you to the county and the city for your help with roads and safety assistance. Bell Tower Festival continues to be well attended, over 8,000 visitors just in 2025 according to Placer AI data. Thank you to the city and county again for your help with the carnival, infrastructure setup, and street closures. Planning for Bell Tower Festival 2026 is underway as we celebrate the 250th birthday of the U.S. The theme will be Americana. The dates are June 11th, 12th, and 13th. Jefferson Matters Golf Tournament in June had 22 teams this year and continues to grow in interest and fundraising efforts. Cruise into the Square in August saw over 250 participants, most of which were out-of-town, out-of-county residents. This event is another great example of tourism money being brought into Jefferson. We tried a new event this fall, our variation of when RVTV came to town a few years ago. It was a Cyhawk tailgate and Rams pep rally event. We're really happy with the participation from the community and the school on this event, and look forward to making it an annual event. Again, thank you to the county and the city for helping make this happen. And the Winter Festival is happening next weekend at Clover Hall, December 5th and 6th, with a Ladies' Night event on December 4th. This free, family-friendly event continues to grow each year. Last year, the event had around 900 people attend to see 46 trees, and we're hoping that all of those numbers grow this year. Hand it over to Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Cisneros. I'm the chair for the organization team, whose purpose is to establish a strong organization that utilizes a growing number of participants in the implementation and funding of Jefferson Matters. That's a very complicated way of saying we're sort of the backbone organization, part of the organization where we feed and nourish and cultivate the volunteer staff as well as provide funding resources for the organization. And in doing that, this year we are formalizing those processes by establishing an organization of volunteer recruitment, recognition, and recognition and retention, as well as focusing on some fundraising efforts, looking at the Giving Tuesday as an example, as well as a bowling fundraiser event coming up in 2026, early 2026, that you guys will be hearing about at some point. We've also looked at organizational culture by developing a broad survey to our volunteers as well as the leadership staff using Peter Drucker's process of looking at the fundamental use of volunteers, management, and in doing so, we've been able to look at what the organizational culture is, as well as determine what type of alignment we have. Those results of the surveys, which we had about a 35% participation from our volunteers and almost 100% participation from our leadership, those survey results will then accumulate into another process where select members of the volunteer staff as well as our board of directors will sit down and look at the self-assessment process that Drucker has laid down and come up with some action plans, SMART goals, leading forward to our transformation strategies for Jefferson Matters. So we're a work in progress, but we're very excited about what 2026 looks like. Thank you.
Me again. I am going to speak on behalf of the promotions team now. So I've got some notes from Bonnie Silva. She's the chairperson of that team. Spook the Loop was very well attended, and our promotions team looks forward to assisting to make that even better next year. I know personally that's one of my favorites because I love Halloween. There's an excellent holiday gift guide, both in the paper and an online version that highlights Jefferson shopping, so make sure and check that out. Elves have been giving out surprise Jefferson Matters money for open houses. So we did one, it was a couple weekends ago, right? We did that. We did Pink Friday, and then coming up, we are going to have Plaid Friday this Friday and Small Business Saturday. So it's hard to keep them all straight. All kinds of shopping opportunities, though. And Bonnie would be here tonight, but she has an event going on. So please make sure you support those events that she puts on and some of our other retailers within the community, too. Let's see here. Upcoming nighttime shopping event will be Thursday, December 11th. As businesses change ownership and new businesses get ready to open, we look forward to 2026. So, like I said, please do your best to visit our retailers, support our retailers. The more business that they get, the more it brings in more retail. So, please do your part. Thank you.
And I'm going to end up the evening. I am first, before I close, I'm going to talk about economic vitality, which Peg Rainey is the chair of, and she gave me a really great list of things to talk about. So she said the economic vitality meets monthly with an average of a dozen in attendance. Grant updates for 2025 all awarded through an interview process. Those grants are the Jefferson Wants You Incentive Fund, which gives up to $5,000 for new businesses in Jefferson. In 2025, grants awarded were to the Courtyard, Prime Performance, Chiropractic, Highland Medical, and the Public House. We have a remote worker 1-year grant to Gravitate. This is worth $100 a month for flexible seating, and we've awarded that to 2 recipients to use that space this year. We also have a business growth grant, which is up to $5,000 match for adding a new product line or services. Grants awarded to that were Greater Life Chiropractic, Fudges Flowers, Green Goods, and Art of Aries. All applications are online, and a brochure describing each is available. These are all funded through the Grow Green County Gaming Corporation funds. There's been a number of outreach projects. Those include business visits conducted by the Executive Director Matt Wietrich and Sarah Huddleston to all businesses on the square, and they are going to be moving out into all of Jefferson. Java and Juice is Friday mornings. They were held at over 30 locations this calendar year. After Hours Insiders, this is the second year of that. This is an exclusive back of the house events with a limit of 30 to 40 participants, held at Wild Rose Casino and Powerlift in 2025. They have had ambassador ribbon cuttings, which have been held at the pickleball courts, Art of Aries new location, Farmers Market, Pickaway Americana, Caring Hearts, Bolton and Mink, Prime Performance Chiropractic and Therapies, Jefferson Sewer Plant, Journey Financial, Greater Life Chiropractic, and the Children's Center, all in 2025. Newcomer bags and information folders are coordinated through the office with the city and the county. Halloween candy was provided to 12 local businesses involved in the promotions team that Kristen just talked about. The Reunion Rendezvous is held annually at the Bell Tower Festival and is sponsored by the School Foundation. Entrepreneurial Exchange quarterly meetings for all businesses in Greene County is being planned for 2026. Building updates available on Experience. There are building updates that are available on experiencejeffersoniowa.com. There's monthly updates on the status of buildings for lease, for sale, and businesses that are for sale. There's community information updated for financial institutions, realtors, and contractors. Booms Tracker is a program that is being introduced and we will be working with this year. For education and resource partnerships, we've got representatives that participate in the Economic Vitality team from Iowa Central Community College, from the Small Business Development Center, from Hub 712 out of Carroll, from Greene County Development Corporation, from the Multicultural Family Resource Center, Iowa State Extension, in the city of Jefferson. And that is the Economic Vitality Report from PEG. So, with that, I just cannot thank the city of Jefferson enough for the partnership that we have in everything that we do. You know, we want to support Jefferson and to make it better, and we feel like our goals align really well with the cities, and appreciate all of the hard work and efforts that you provide to us. Any questions to me or to any of my team? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Under reports, Jim.
For Westwood Sidewalk Project, we got some survey data along the Westwood area between those south side streets, so we're reviewing that to see how things are fitting in there. And then we'll probably report at the next Sewer Street Committee. And then Greenwood, we got the revisions completed on that, and we'll have a short presentation at the first council meeting in December. And that's all.
Roxanne.
A report.
David.
No report.
Scott.
Just to follow up from our city council planning session last week. So we met here a week ago with Pat Callahan and went through that goal setting. And as the council would remember, there were many items that received several dots for prioritizing. But it also had many items that received about the same amount of dots. So we were going to follow up with an additional survey and ask the council to rank those items. So I think everybody's received their survey. Okay, but if you can get that survey completed and get it back to me ASAP. I'd ask you to do it yet tonight, but if we could have it tomorrow, that'd be fantastic. If you would fill it out and email that back to me, we can continue to finish up our goal setting and priorities. Other than that, just a note that I'll be on vacation here over the holiday through next Tuesday. probably take off tomorrow afternoon and again, be gone through next Tuesday. Part of the time going down to Oklahoma, to Stillwater, Oklahoma, to go watch Iowa State play football. Looking forward to it.
Okay, I see Greg is not here, so.
Sick kids, actually, so yeah.
Okay, Mark, anything? Chad's not here. Harry?
No report.
Matt?
I know from Park and Rec that the Deck Park bathrooms are all done. So it should be ready to go next spring. It's great. That's it.
Good. Chad?
No report.
Pat? And I have nothing. So we are done.